Do not shoot a full feature film yet without seeing this video to the very end. Let's get right into it. What's up guys, hope you're doing great. This is your boy Copy Shots, and in today's video I'm gonna guide you along the path of filmmaking, where if you want to actually shoot movies, where to start from, how to mobilize a team if you really need it, and sometimes you can even shoot all by yourself. But yeah, you need to know these few tips so that it becomes very easy for you and you don't commit the mistakes that I committed when I started out. I actually learned it the hard way, and I don't want you to go through that sort of traumatic experience, and I'm going to help you out through it all. So this is a very basic and relatable situation. You're a filmmaker and you've watched the film and you love the concept and you feel like, how about you try your hands on something and see how it goes. Of course, you might think about the biggest idea that you can ever think of, but trust me, if this is actually your first time tackling a film, you don't need to go through that. You need to take your time and start from the ground. And this brings me to my first point. You need to shoot a lot, and I mean a ton of microfilms, if not short films. Microfilms, very short and minute in duration films that you can try your hands on and see how it goes. Maybe you don't want to really bombard yourself too much, with the start. So of course you're going to try, this is what I would recommend. You're going to try to shoot some films without audio so you can focus on your shots, shot sizes, camera movement, the mood. As you go along and you learn how to do these things, then you move up to the little bit of a next step. So when you're starting out, you can't, of course, many a time, in most situations and in most cases, you can't afford the best of actors in your area. So you're definitely going to have to rely, yes, on your friends. And these friends of yours are, of course, are not seasoned in acting, so probably you're going to have to work with them in a beginner stage, just like you yourself. You're going to realize that you're going to commit a ton of mistakes, and as you keep on shooting, of course, you're not stopping. And after the first film, you're not going to feel satisfied because you're a filmmaker who's trying to actually do something great, or probably get to that stage and replicate that blockbuster film that you saw. You are definitely going to find a lot of mistakes that you're trying to, implement some solutions and make it better the next time. So you see yourself shooting the first, the second, the third, fourth. Probably you realize that some of your friends are getting better because they love the films that you produce. So yeah, on to the sixth one. I'm pretty sure that you have the hang of things, and since you have the hang of things now, you're gonna have to move up a little bit. So if you're shooting microfilms, mimes where there's no audio, no dialogue, you're going to move up to a little bit of dialogue, and that's where you introduce audio. You don't have to look for the best of audios. You can start off by using your cell phone, then you can sync the audio that you get from your cell phone like you'd use a boom mic, yes, with the footages that you shot with your camera. Of course, because your camera records audio, it wouldn't be the best. Most often than not, you'll definitely be starting out with a very cheap camera, and when you're using a cheap camera, the audio wouldn't be the best. So having your cell phone as your audio recording device can really help you a ton. It will save you some money, and as you go along, you're going to realize that you have to move up to the next step, which is implementing sound design. Where I hear sound design, I'm basically talking about when you're watching a film, for instance, and you hear music, you hear footsteps of someone approaching, you really feel like you're actually there with them. The sound is so clean, crisp, the audio just sounds good, and everything just works in tandem and in sync, where you hear music changing, elevating, declining, receding, and all that. That is because sound design actually makes you feel that mood that gets you into the movie or into the film, whatever it is that you're watching. So here you can start with some Foley, and with Foley I'm talking about audio that you record, that you add to your film. For instance, footsteps. You can record exclusively footsteps and add it to your shots that has footsteps, make it sync exactly when the foot moves to the next step, then to the next step. You make sure the audio syncs. And if you are creating a mood, you add a very suitable music. Of course, when you're starting out, arousing the mood or arousing a particular feeling in your audience wouldn't come easy. You need to try it out and test it off, of course, with yourself and see if it really works with you. If you were to be watching a movie and you heard such music mixed up with Foley, let's say trees, the breeze, you hear the ruffling of the leaves, rattling of twigs on the ground, stream, a river, you hear the sound of water rippling and all that. If you're creating a scene, for instance, and you add all these sound effects that you actually pre-plan and position them adequately to make it sync, and listen to it and it really feels right, that's where you're actually understanding how nature works. And when you add some music that is actually appropriate to instill some bit of mood in your audience and it works with you as you're experimenting, then you are actually on the right path. It actually takes a lot of doing to be able to get to this far. Now you've gotten to this level where you shot your first short film. Congratulations. Let's say you want to step up a little bit. Your first short film was probably 10 minutes long, for instance, and you want to step up to probably 30 minutes. Now you need to ensure that your storyline actually is interesting, because that length of a duration of a film, you're going to actually have your audience hooked up from start to the end. Otherwise they're not going to watch and they'll click away, for instance, if it's on a platform like, let's say, YouTube. So you need to be very meticulous with every shot, every scene, every sound that they hear to keep them hooked. But of course, at this point, you're so much better that you definitely want to move up to the next point yet. So you mobilize a team, you have a very good crew. By this point, you've definitely worked with a couple of people, and with teamwork, you've learned how to work with people and produce something great. You have actors, because along the journey, you work with a ton of friends, and definitely your work has actually caught the eyes of some active actors who are actually in the game and they want to really work with you. So you contact them, or some would contact you because they want to work with you and they've seen something about your work that is so peculiar that this is somebody who's actually trying to change the game. In my case, I started out shooting music videos for the most part, yes, in the beginning stages of my filmmaking career. Then during the pandemic, I stepped up to shoot some spec ads because we were all at home and we needed to, occupy ourselves as filmmakers. I was watching a ton of YouTube videos and I realized that I could also do something at home. And I did that. And I was learning some shot sizes, I was learning lighting configurations, how I could work with details, close-up shots, and make sure that when I piece them together during post-production, it made a lot of sense that if someone looks at it, they'll be hooked from start to finish. And you are definitely at this stage where you are that good and you want to shoot your first full feature film. Yes, you've gotten to that point. What are you going to do? You need a very beautiful story, obviously, because this is over an hour, over 60 minutes runtime. And so as you are going to shoot this film, you need to make sure that everything is detailed out, spelled out to everybody on your set, your actors, your crew. Everybody is up and running, because you need to pre-plan very well. If you are not careful, you've definitely booked locations, you've definitely booked people, you've fed them, you spent a ton of money getting this far. You don't want to mess things up, and so you need to make sure that your pre-planning is really well done. So of course it comes before getting on set to shoot the film. It also comprises the story idea, the scripting, the casting, making sure that the people that you're going to have on the set are the right people for the job. And once you get it done, you start shooting. You ensure that your shots are definitely listed out in a shot list, that after you take every shot of every scene, you tick them, and then you ensure that by the end of the day, you've gotten all your shots intact. Then it comes to editing. You put it all together, you watch your film together with your actors and see what you can change, because that's what I normally do with my just ended premiere of my full feature film, the second one for that matter. I needed to sit down with my actors to see the film, and we're able to pinpoint some things that we needed to make changes to, and we got our film enhanced. That people came through, saw it, and they loved it. And I want to tell you something, it didn't just come easy, it took time. It took way more time than even what I've actually explained from the steps that I've put across to you. You need to do a lot of work. You need to learn a whole lot. You need to, form teams. The teamwork is where you actually learn how to work with people with different mindsets and accommodate and accept opinions. And as you put your work out there, definitely people are going to have the opinions about it. You need to take them into mind, think through, sift through all the opinions and see which one works best for you. You are the author of your film. You have a style. If you want to implement anything, it is your choice to make. You're the driver. So ensure that whatever that you do is actually conforming to your principles and your style that you want to put out there, because you need to be unique. You don't need to copy. You don't have to copy people. You need to be unique and make sure that whatever it is that you're doing comes out really great. So I'm pretty sure that you're pumped up. Take these steps. Take your time. You don't need to rush, because you need to get better, and making mistakes is actually part of the process. Thank you very much for watching this video to the very end. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, turn on the post notification button. I don't want you to miss out on the next video, because I'm going to be very active nowadays. Thank you once again, and I'm going to catch you next time in the next video. Have a wonderful day. See ya.